Yo, 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 it's your boy MikeO. Please subscribe, like, and most importantly, comment. Now, I want to talk about this Benavidez and Andrade fight. Watched the fight a few times before I gave my initial reaction, and I do want to say this. I thought Andrade fought with a lot of heart, but he had a lot of things going against him. And I think one of the biggest things that he had going against him was father time. I mean, he's in his mid 30s, 35, 36 years old, and he was fighting against a man that was 10 years younger than him. Not to mention a fighter with a lot of power and, quite honestly, a lot more experience. A lot more experience with seasoned fighters. Andrade, his resume was really light. Again, I don't think that there was a lot of big names that was on that list. I think Liam Williams was maybe the biggest draw that he's had. So I think that this is the first time in his whole career that he had this kind of test in front of him, and it wasn't an easy test. Now, I did make a video a couple days ago. Check it out. It did kind of go into what I thought needed to happen for both fighters to win. Now, one thing that I noticed that Andrade did not do, he did not work the jab. He didn't work the jab at all. And I'll show the fight totals in a minute, but he did not work that jab at all. And it was only a matter of time before he could just keep Benavidez at bay without working the jab. He almost gave an open invite. But what he was doing in the earlier rounds was to avoid Benavidez's power. Is he would have these flurries of punches that he would throw anytime that Benavidez would try to attack. And I think for the first 4 rounds or first 3 rounds, first 3-4 rounds, he had him completely, frustrated. I don't think Benavidez had an answer to how unorthodox Andrade was, so I don't think that he was really ready for the type of approach that Andrade did. But I really wish that he would have worked the jab a lot more. I thought it would have saved him a lot of energy, because I think that he was just honestly, he was tapped out. After the 4th round, I don't think he had a lot left in him, and this is where I say it comes to age and not working the jab. He kind of exerted a lot of punches. But when you look at the punch totals, it really doesn't look that impressive for him at all. So let's just take a look. Let's see if we can take a look at these totals. And, like I said, you can see here, first 3-4 rounds, you can see how much more active Benavidez was in almost every category. It's just that it just seems to be unfortunate that he ran out of steam. It's a little easier for me to look at this on my phone, so excuse me. But taking a look for the first, round 1, when it comes to total punches landed, it was pretty even. Benavidez had 7, Andrade had 8, which is kind of crazy. 8 total punches landed. But second round, Andrade was the more active fighter. Thrown 47, landed 12, and compared to Benavidez 39-8. Same with the third round. He threw more punches and landed 52-12. Benavidez had 50 and only landed 6. Now, after that, Benavidez started turning it up, and I think that's when Andrade couldn't elude him any longer. Benavidez, quite honestly, opposed his will on that man, because round 4, 18, he threw 50 punches, landed 18. Andrade still threw more punches. He threw 61 and landed 12. But after that, it was over with. I think that's when you smelled the blood in the water. You had the knockdown. He just looked tired. Mouthpiece was coming out more than once. So I just think that he just didn't have a lot of fatigue. He had a lot of fatigue, and he just didn't have a lot of energy for that fight. And like I said, 5th round. Now Benavidez really turned it up. He threw 82 punches and landed 40, whereas Andrade threw a lot less. 4th round, Andrade threw 61 punches. In this round, 34. He was tired. He was gassed early. I don't think he was ready for this type of fighter, and I think that he was maybe a little overly cautious with letting his hands go in these moments where he could have just worked the jab to try to keep him away. And let me just get to the last round. 80 punches thrown by Benavidez compared to only 40 for Andrade, and he only landed 14. And, I think it just, if we're being honest, I think it just kind of boils down to Andrade just being the smaller fighter. He was a smaller fighter, the more defensive fighter, and he didn't throw a lot of punches. He doesn't throw a lot of punches. He's not a knockout fighter. He has 19 knockouts in 32 fights. But he had no head movement. Didn't work the jab. He didn't work on any or I don't want to say work on. I didn't see any adjustments for this type of a fighter. I don't know if he was just expecting for the fight just to go a certain way and maybe wasn't expecting it. I have no idea. But this type of fighter was not the type where you can't not work your jab. You have to keep this guy away. I would have liked to see him work the jab, have small furies, dip in and dip out. He was flat foot. He didn't dance around the ring. I mean, I was a little, I was a little disappointed in this performance, but it was expected. I did predict the 8th round, knockout by the 8th round. So he did it by the 6th. So I was a little off, but I knew it was going to happen. But in Benavidez's defense, he threw the power punches. He stayed physical. They had a couple wrap-ups where, they got tied up a bit. He applied pressure, and he threw those hooks. Like I said in the other video, check it out. He threw those hooks constantly throughout the fight. And I really want to know is what's next? What do you guys think is next for Benavidez? Is he going to fight Canelo? Does this now become a high reward fight for Canelo? Because quite honestly, I think before it was a high risk, low reward fight for him. So I don't know if this was enough to get Benavidez a little bit more popularity to where this fight can happen. Let me know what you think. I've been wanting to go live, but I'd like to have an audience to go live too. So if you guys are interested in me doing that, comment and let me know. I can set something up. We could have people join, interact, that type of thing. So let me know your feedback. And also, I'll do a review shortly on Charlo and Benavidez. So again, please subscribe, like, and comment. I really would love to hear from you. Until next time, later.